Plus podcast. Today we have...
Hi, I'm Jen.
I'm Sammie.
I'm Gideon.
I'm Kanalith. What?
I'm Zoey, your host. So we have a couple new faces in here. If you guys wanted to tell us a little bit about yourselves, Gideon, if you want to go first.
Yeah, sure. I'm currently a college student. I live on the West Coast. I go by they, them pronouns, but she, her also works too. I'm currently 19 years old, and I'm a nerd.
Hi, I'm Sammie. I use she, they pronouns. I'm 17. I'm probably the youngest one here.
I believe Kanalith, you are also 17, right?
I'm also 17.
So, did anybody have any topics they wanted to start out with? I think the first one we should probably talk about, though, is the other Pridecast, the one that happened yesterday, which was freaking awesome.
It was very good.
Amazing.
I don't think I saw that.
I'm so excited.
Wait.
They didn't advertise it a ton. I don't know if they talked about it in other productions, but they talked about it a lot on Twitter. And I follow Jackie, who is one of the new community managers, and it was kind of her little project baby that she started right when she started working there earlier this month. So she's been pushing it and organized it, and she's been tweeting a lot about it. So that's how I saw it.
Yeah,
she has been going to work, man. Like, she has already done a lot of outreach, even like among RT world, and even just with us. Like, she's actually done quite a bit of outreach and trying to figure out like how to like improve the community and kind of foster a better I guess voice among the community. It's great.
That sounds awesome.
So for those who didn't watch the live stream, it was hosted by Mariel and Patrick, who is the head of broadcast, and they kind of bounce between them and a series of guests who work in the community, work at the company, and everyone kind of like talked about their experiences coming out, talking to family. They answered some questions from the chat, so it was live streamed on the Roosterteeth website, and they made it open to the public, which was really nice. It wasn't first only.
I feel like that was that also probably helped their fundraising stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. What was the final amount that they made on that?
Let me check real quick. I know they broke the goal of 2,000, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, you guys really need to link me to that because I didn't see that on the Rooster Teeth website. Like,
I don't know if they recorded it to release it.
Oh,
I really hope they did, man.
So it looks like it's currently at 2,185. It is still open for donations. I don't know if it'll still be open when this episode comes out, but I'll include a link in the description and stuff if it still is. Yeah,
that I just suddenly I realized I was actually hanging out with my brother. I realized that this was going on when my phone started to blow up a little bit.
Yeah, right at the top of the live stream, Mariel gave a shout out to our community group on the Roosterteeth website, which I immediately went and posted both our Twitter and Discord in to make sure that they were right there so people could see them. And I also posted it in the live stream chat, and we immediately got a lot of attention.
Go figure.
That was fantastic. We're over 600 followers on Twitter now.
We went up about 150 in 12 hours.
That's amazing.
That was fantastic. It was so cool.
So we also had a lot of new people here on the Discord, which was awesome and a lot of fun to just chat with new people.
I believe we are over 160 now, I believe.
Nice.
Let's see. We are at 163.
Nice.
I remember joining and there wasn't that much people. That was... I remember joining like I think it was like a month ago or so. And there wasn't really much. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was 10 people in this server when it kind of when I rebranded and made it RT LGBT and not RT Trans and Allies, and that was about a month ago. Yeah, just about.
Yeah, it was right at the top of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's awesome how far we've come in just a month. and that we have such an active Discord community, and we have people reaching out to us on Twitter, and Rooster Teeth retweeted us, and a bunch of RT staff did, and like we have a podcast, and we have game nights, and we have this really cool community going. And
speaking of that, I still have to come to one. I haven't yet.
Yeah. Well, we've only done, I think, 3 or 4. So.
Yeah. We've done a movie night. We've done a game night.
I thought we did 2 movie
also
nights.
had.
I might be wrong.
I think we only did Love, Simon.
Okay.
I wanted to go to the movie night, but I also wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
No, that's 100% fair. Where it's like we're trying to kind of get things going on at different times somewhat. So like we're also going to be having a game night that's more oriented towards the European EU, just because we want to make sure we get those people included too, because that's our second biggest grouping of people, and we just don't want to leave them out. And so one of our game nights every month is going to be like in the afternoon for America, so it's going to be evening for the EU.
That's fair.
Yeah, and that's one of the goals that we want to have, just because unlike a lot of the RT groups that we do that are out there, this one is worldwide. So the people that have basically kind of been my mentors never really took into account the fact that things might be worldwide, so I just didn't even think about it until it started to become an apparent issue when some people were feeling a little bit alienated, because I mean most people in the server are American, and so I just didn't want to let those people feel and stay left out, so we just wanted to bring I think that's when we brought on Fume, which has been a huge help, and we're going to work on getting a bunch of new stuff for different time zones.
So stay tuned for that. We'll have more events coming up. I think we have one that we're doing this weekend. Did we decide that?
I believe the art contest ends this weekend. Not the art contest. The writing contest ends this weekend.
It'll end before this episode goes out, though. Or when this episode goes out.
Okay.
So if you're listening to this, it's too late.
Yeah.
But
I'm already listening to this and happening.
I believe that might be it. Let me double check the calendar.
I did want to go back to the Rooster Teeth live stream real quick, though.
Yeah, go for it.
So I noticed from a lot of people, both in the chat and later on Twitter, that they were disappointed that there was a lack of non-binary visibility on the stream. And I know they mentioned that Kaden was trying to get there, but she couldn't. But that is something that Rooster Teeth can still improve on. And I had a friend who was really upset about it, for good reason, that they were talking a lot about inclusion and visibility, and they didn't get everyone who absolutely could be there. But it's just another place for them to improve.
I don't know of any of the RT staff that is non-binary, at least.
Yeah.
I don't personally. I know there are at least 2 transgender employees, but I don't know of any non-binary people, just I guess off the top of my head at least. So I understand like wanting them to have that visibility, but if they don't have anybody,
or if those people aren't confident being on camera right now, or they aren't out to everyone besides at work, or for various other reasons.
So I understand why that would, people might be upset about that, but it's like, I mean, if you could point to somebody, I guess, that's an active member and talks about it, then I would be a little bit more upset, but I just, unless I'm just not thinking of someone and you guys know.
Yeah, I couldn't think of any non-binary, but also there weren't any trans people on the stream.
Yeah, so. There's not really many other than Caden that at least openly talk about it.
Yeah, which I think was kind of my friend's main point, was that it was just Caden, and that's the only face in Rooster Teeth who's recognizable as part of that community. But I don't know, they either might not exist, or they might not be out, or they might not be comfortable on camera, or they just weren't available. So, but it's something that Rooster Teeth could maybe work on.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna tell those people no.
Yeah.
It's probably, if they are there, they probably either couldn't make it or didn't want to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anybody else have anything they want to talk about with the Pridecast?
I was really hoping to see Lindsay.
Yeah. What? I don't know. What was Achievement Hunter doing yesterday? Were they streaming or something?
Achievement Hunter was being dumb, sucking up water through billions of straws.
Seriously?
I had a really funny realization as I was kind of going back through a bunch of my stuff. I'm just visiting home right now, and so I looked back through a bunch of my old DVDs, and I found some stuff that I realize now is really, really weird um as an entertainment, like as an entertainment for a kid at least. So if any, I don't know if anybody else was interested in this kind of stuff, but I was a huge dinosaur nerd as a kid. I, I love dinosaurs. But I watched these real, I guess, mockumentaries made that were hosted by a guy named Nigel Marven. And I realize now how weird they are. So I was watching it recently, and imagine basically, I guess, some research foundation finds the ability to travel back in time, and they send this British zoologist back in time, and they call him a paleozoologist, even though he had never he'd never been back in time. And so they go back in time acting like it's nothing, like it's no big deal at all. And he goes and tries to, the one that immediately comes out to me is he tries to like solve these mysteries about dinosaurs. And so he goes back in time, and one of the funniest freaking things is the fact that they actually acknowledge the camera crew. Like,
oh my.
And it, in some cases, it's really ridiculous. So there's this scene where it's a bunch of these smaller dinosaurs, and they're like kind of being aggressive, and the microphone guy just starts jabbing at one of the dinosaurs that's coming up close, and they just show it on camera, and it's just like, why? It's just, it sounds so weird now that I look back on it, and I just wanted to know if any of you guys have also had something like that, because I guess retrospect can sometimes always have some of these funny moments.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched one of those, but I looked him up, and I believe I know Walking with the Dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, Walking with the Dinosaurs is great.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I literally just looked up Dinosaur Nigel. That could have come up as something
Marven is
way different, like dinosaur saying smashing, but thank God.
Nigel Marven, I think he was trying to basically be the British Steve Irwin. And it was around the same time as Steve Irwin's, like when he was really big. So I thought it was freaking hilarious, because I think it was just him trying to outdo Steve Irwin. And I'm just like, that, I guess, yeah, dinosaurs are a step up from alligators.
Okay, now
have any
now
of you guys had any
this.
sort of it's fantastic. So I believe they're all BBC specials, I believe. So the one that I was just referencing with the microphone guy is called, I believe it's the Mystery of the Giant Claw, and it's as weird as it sounds. It's just it's also, the show is so cheesy sometimes. There's some very clearly scripted like arguments between cast members, or like these people that are journeying back in time. It's just, why?
Why?
Oh yeah, so okay, I've never watched something like that, but I have watched something different. So I'm pretty sure everyone knows The Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, not many people know. There was a second one. And this is not... Okay, this might sound like a creepypasta at this point. Like, little did you know there was actually a second one. And it was actually terrifying. But, no, this is not a creepypasta. I refuse to make this a creepypasta. But, there was actually a second one. And it was creepy as fuck. It was, basically Dorothy Returns to Oz. I think that was actually the title. And basically, so, like, she returns to Oz after, like, several years, and, she comes back to, like, the Scarecrow became, the new king, that kind of stuff. But, she finds that the Wicked Witch has come back and has taken over, Oz. And basically, I think it was, like, the Wicked Witch, I'm not joking, this is a kid's movie. She killed a lot of young, beautiful women in order to steal their faces, which she cut off, in order to wear their faces and become them. And basically, she teamed up with, what was it? It was like TikTok, who's this like giant clock guy. Crap, I'm trying to remember the other characters. Wait. I'm gonna look up the other characters because this was like something. Oh wait, Wizard. Oh wait, Dorothy Returns to Oz. I think it was just Dorothy.
I guess there's also no wizard to really protect them anymore.
Yeah, there is not.
Wizard.
Okay, no, that wasn't that. No, fuck that is not the right one. That is okay. Return to Oz. Return to Oz. That's what it was called. It was a jack-o'-lantern. It was TikTok. That's the only one I remembered for some reason. And shit, I do not remember the last person. I cannot see them in the fucking image. Okay, it was TikTok. It was Jack Pumpkinhead, and it was the Gump. That's what it was, the Gump. Basically like the Cowardly Lion, but not really the Cowardly Lion. And it was directed in 1985.
Why did they even make that movie?
And yeah, basically she returns to Oz. She has to take down the Wicked Witch, and it was creepy as fuck. But I loved it.
How does she even fight it? Like, how does she fight the Wicked
I don't
Witch
remember.
this time?
I don't remember. It wasn't the most memorable movie, but it was. But it still happened, though. It still happened. Wasn't the best. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot. Dorothy was extremely depressed at the start of the movie. Because I think it was like no one believed her about Oz, and then like finally she was like called back, and then she realized that everyone was like pretty much dead.
Oh my god!
This was a kids movie, also.
Right.
I don't know, but this happened. And if anyone else remembers this movie,
no,
like, just say, hey, shit, I remember that.
Yeah. God. It just sounds like a train wreck. There are so many like a second or like third sequels that happen on the or that are of these movies that just nobody knows about. Like, I didn't even know there was a Cinderella 2 until recently.
Really?
I did know about that one.
Okay. Cinderella 2 was
Aladdin. I didn't know much about the third. I think there was a third Aladdin, right?
Oh man, I loved the Aladdin movies as a kid. I watched all of them all the time.
Okay, I was not a fan of I liked the third Aladdin was his father, right? Was it me? Was it?
No.
Wasn't that Return of Jafar?
The
third one was. I think.
No. I thought the second one was Return of Jafar, and then the third one was Prince of Thieves.
King of Thieves.
King of Thieves. Yeah, no, and
both
King of
sequels
Thieves was
were
good.
direct to video.
Okay, this is my opinion. King of Thieves was good, and so was Cinderella 3 because of how goddamn weird it was.
Cinderella 3 was amazing.
Is it just me?
There were sequels to all of these things.
Cinderella 3 was basically the evil stepmother got a hold of the fairy godmother's wand and wished them back in time, and so her daughter would be able to fit the shoe. And Cinderella notices this and tries to fix the timeline. But we actually learn more about the stepsister, and we learn that she's not actually a bad person. And
she just
in the end, she pretty much gives the shoe back to Cinderella. But the prince is weird as fuck, though. I think he, like, jumped out of the window in one thing. Like,
I
just, like,
remember that.
no emotion on his face, just jumped out.
Oh jeez.
I
I remember that scene because it's just like I think his father is like preventing him from leaving the castle, and he's just like, "You won't take another step down these stairs," and he's just like, "Okay." So he jumps out the window because that's a logical option.
Basically, it was weird as hell, and I actually liked that one. There's very few Disney direct-to-DVD things that I like, but that one was beautiful.
I'm trying to think. There was another one. I think it was almost like a straight to TV. Was it Wendy Wu Kung Fu Warrior?
That sounds very familiar.
You guys seen that?
That movie
sounds
was
extremely
great.
familiar.
Wasn't that the one with the girl who was in? Yes, it was.
Sweet Life of Zack and
Yes.
Cody.
Yeah.
Yes.
I never saw it, but I know
was
of it.
amazing. It was one of my favorite movies to watch as a kid. And I'm not sure. I would go back and watch now, but I'm wondering if I'd find out that basically my entire family was cringing the entire time I watched it. Because it's all about these this I guess Chinese lore, and I'm just wondering if it's actually like there's something wrong with it, and I just didn't realize it as a kid. I had this same realization recently when I was watching a YouTube video, and he was talking about Dumbo, and I'm like, now that I think back on that movie, no kid should ever watch that movie. Just the entire thing is offensive.
I hated Dumbo as a kid. Not gonna lie.
It's messed up. Now that I look back on it with a clear lens.
Weren't those racist crows from Dumbo?
What?
Weren't those racist crows from Dumbo?
Well, there's that, and then the fact that, I don't know, like, Dumbo's mom is basically thrown in prison for protecting her child, and then all of the other elephants are basically abusive to him and yelling at him and telling him he's not even a freaking elephant. And then I forget the animal that exploits him, but the animal that exploits him basically gives him alcohol to try to like take advantage of him. And it's just like, what the? There's no good that comes out of this movie. Like it's just wrong.
I think that's bad, but
I think
Song
it
of the
is.
South.
I think it is a mouse, Sammie, but it's just so messed up.
So just to reassure you, Zoey, the reception for Wendy Wu Homecoming Warrior was very positive, and they said that the main character is a strong protagonist and a good role model, and that they commended Disney for a strong Asian cast, and they noted that it's rare to see a female martial arts star with a black belt. So, overall, good reception.
That makes me so happy to hear.
There's not many female martial artists stars.
She was great, and I loved it, and that was a fantastic movie. I would recommend all of you watch it.
So the only show that came to mind for me when you brought this up was The Big Comfy Couch, if anyone remembers that.
I have no idea.
I know.
So it's some lady named Lunette and her doll Molly, who also is a character. And this is like from like the early mid 90s, but had production all the way through 2007. It looks like.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Which is like freaking me out a little bit. But it was just very strange. I lied. It was till December 29th, 2006.
Oh,
still, that's pretty close. You weren't far off.
Yeah.
But
I don't remember the specific episodes, but I remember like just the vibe of the show. It was just these two characters on their big comfy couch.
That sounds amazing.
What do they talk about? Is it just like, is it existential or something?
Yeah, I was gonna say like two characters just talking on their big comfy couch. Sounds like an idea for like a stoner flick.
Right?
Well, like episode 7 it's called Something's Fishy Around Here. Lunette and Molly pretend to fish. Molly learns about patience.
What?
What?
Wait, but how do they
another
fish
one
in their big comfy couch?
Yeah.
Couch though. That's what I want to know.
This sounds so weird.
It's very weird. There's one called Funny Faces where Luna and Molly learn about feelings. The gang watches a movie about Granny's family in the old country.
But okay, wait. Old country. I'm guessing that's like Russia in this case.
I don't know. It was on
Because I feel like
PBS Kids.
Oh my god.
Oh shit! Wait, does anyone remember
Sounds so-
Mr. Rogers'
There
Neighborhood?
are 100 episodes of this show.
There are 100 episodes?
What?
Why?
Yep.
Were they going for
They-
syndication or something?
They did have reruns on PBS. The collector's
my.
edition of all 100 episodes is $55 on Amazon.
Oh
Wow.
I'm buying it. I need to. Now I'll probably just I don't know, find another way to watch it.
Yeah.
Because now
I
I'm just now you've piqued my interest.
if you keep it quiet, there's always Pirate Bay.
Nah.
I'm joking. I don't.
I
Use
try
Pirate Bay
to
anymore.
see if any of my streaming services have it. Who knows?
Maybe Hulu does. Hulu has a lot of
I don't
shit.
know. It's available on
This
Prime
podcast
Video.
isn't sponsored by
I have
Hulu.
that, so that's perfect.
I think you do still have to pay for it. It's not
That's
streaming,
fine.
but it's
If
there.
if it's a little cheaper, I'll try it.
It's
We'll see.
$196.
Can I say one thing? If any
I don't know how much
if
that's
any
for. That's for
streaming
season
service wants
7.
to if any streaming service wants to sponsor us, that would be nice.
Season 1 through 7 is included with Prime. You're welcome,
Okay.
Zoe.
Thank you.
Go watch The Big Comfy Couch.
I'm gonna go. I'll be watching that tonight. I'll let you know how it turns.
I haven't watched that in 23 years, so. have
Oh
fun.
my gosh.
Oh my. Hey, wait. Wait. Do you guys remember Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
Yes! I'm gonna
I
go see the
remember
movie
it
tomorrow.
vaguely.
Like, that is the
There's a
only plan
movie?
I have for my birthday.
There's a movie?
Is to go see the Mr.
There's a
Rogers movie.
documentary
wait,
that's coming
there's
out
a
about
movie?
Mr. Rogers.
Okay, wait.
There's
wait,
a
wait.
documentary. It just came out.
Oh my fucking god! I'm watching this. Oh my god, that was the shit when I was little. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful
no, the documentary
day in the
just came out, and
neighborhood.
I fully have plans to go watch it as my only birthday plan. So
That sounds
Happy
like a great
early
birthday plan.
birthday. I'm
That
just gonna
has a
keep saying
that is
Happy
a
early
great birthday
birthday.
I'll
plan.
forget it otherwise.
thanks.
I need to watch that movie though.
I'm only 24,
sounds
really
good.
old. I think I am the oldest one here.
You are very old.
Probably.
Probably.
That is,
I'm not
that
the
is
oldest one in
very
the
old.
server, I don't think, but
Oh no. I
No,
believe
I-
Fume is actually older. I believe Fume might be like 20. I think higher 20s. I think.
I am no longer like low 20s. I am pushing into mid 20s, and it's terrifying. What am I doing with my life?
Exactly. I'm joking.
You're having fun with other people on an LGBT server. That's what you're
Yeah,
doing.
you're having fun with younger
Yay.
people.
Yeah.
My sister pointed out to me yesterday. My younger cousins, who I used to babysit, have graduated college,
Oh,
and it
ooh.
scared the
Oh.
crap out of me because I have not graduated college yet. So it's okay. I got like a month and a half, and then I
I'm
graduate,
getting
so.
close, man. I'm getting antsy. I have 2 years left of college, and then I'm out there into the world, being
The world is
subjected
big. It's
to the.
scary.
I'm feeling that, man. Whew.
Ooh.
Jen, I'm sorry to say this, but when you mentioned that you were probably the oldest on this podcast right now, I just had the image of the GIF on not Tumblr, but Twitter with Steve Buscemi with like the skateboard, and it's just like, how do you do, fellow kids?
I do feel
See,
that way sometimes. Not a
And
lot.
when you bring that up, it makes me remember Bernie dressing up as Steve Buscemi with the paper eyes that make him look super old and the skateboard.
That was very good.
God, that was a great RT podcast.
Shit, now you got me remembering when Bernie like in I think it was 12 Little Roosters when Bernie like went full Jersey Shore.
Oh no, that was
Oh.
That was
Are you
beautiful.
talking about wait, are you talking about when he is it are you talking about 10 Little Roosters or 11 Little Roosters? Are you
11
talking about
11
the
shit,
time when
11,
he
11,
started
yeah.
working out and like he wanted to become a new age spy, or are you talking about
New Age spy,
when
New Age spy, New Age
it turns
spy.
out Bernie. Okay, you want to talk
New
about
Age
the New Age
spy.
spy thing.
Yeah, no, I accidentally said 12 Little Roosters instead of 11. Fuck my life.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure which one you were talking about there.
No, yeah.
We do need. I want more Roosters, man. I want to see Kojima as a spy.
Yeah,
I feel like
Hideo
all of us want to
Kojima
see
as a
Kojima
spy
as
would
a
be
spy.
amazing. I mean, he's already there, but
Yeah.
I think
John. What country do we all think John was in at the end of that? With him looking like he was freaking from Westworld.
There
he
is no
from the
possible way
great
that he
state
was
of
not from
America.
Texas.
I mean, I could see him being from. I don't know. I'm just. There were so many interesting things. I wanted to know about all of the people at the table at the end.
Oh, yeah,
At the
definitely.
final credits.
Just judging from how he was looking and all like the Western basically the most famous like Western states with the cowboys and that shit, I'd have to say maybe Wyoming.
Wyoming's good.
Wyoming.
I like Wyoming.
Yeah.
My grandparents used to have a ranch there.
Fair enough.
Actually, did you guys know that Wyoming used to be one of the most progressive states in the United States? They were the first
Really?
one to allow women voting.
Yep. I find that stuff fascinating.
I know.
Before we stray too far from like weird things that we saw as a kid, do you guys remember a movie called Monster House? It came out in like 2006.
Yes.
Oh
my
uvula.
God.
That movie was so messed up.
I know.
It
Oh my
really
God!
was.
And
No,
what was
yeah.
the wife? Was it
Years
the
li-
wife died in the house and basically possessed it, right?
Yeah, she
Oh
basically
my God,
became
the
the house
wife dying
witness.
just kind of scarred me as a kid.
I have no intention of ever watching it ever. I do not care.
It's so freaky.
Do yourself a
It is.
favor
Oh
and
my
never
God.
watch it.
I need to go back and watch that a second time.
Oh, same. Yeah, that'll be our next movie night. We'll just watch Monster House and scar everyone
No.
for life again.
Oh my god.
It was just such a weird film, and then in my nightmares, I remember that stupid freaking house charging down the street to come and kill me.
Oh my.
God, that just oof,
Yeah. Oof.
bringing up some bad memories.
My bad.
So, Kanalith, you were also a dinosaur nerd.
I owned several if anyone remembers this was a thing, VHS. I had several VHS tapes of dinosaur movies. And for all I think it was a few months, Jurassic Park was the shit to me because I was young and impressionable.
What about,
and
do
I
you remember-
probably shouldn't have
Oh,
watched
sorry.
that when I was little.
Yeah.
I never saw a Jurassic Park movie.
You've never
Me
seen one?
either.
Really?
No.
I have no intention.
This
of
is
it.
blasphemy.
That's fair. No, it's
I
fair.
do kind of
Kanalith.
want to watch the new ones just because they're probably a little bit more accessible, and I keep seeing trailers for them.
I don't know. I've tried to maintain a pretty clear lens for those movies, and I did just see Jurassic World. I'm not gonna spoil it. But it was okay. I feel like they need to do some drastic changes with these movies though, if I'm gonna stay interested.
Did you say Jurassic changes?
That's what I heard.
Yeah, sure.
That was
Let's say
beautiful.
that I
That was
said that.
beautiful.
I didn't say drastic changes. I said Jurassic changes. Let's go with me saying that. Yep. I
It sounds-
100% made that
yeah.
joke. But it
You're
was
being like
it
Carlos
was a good
Mencia.
movie still.
Joke stealing.
Uh,
If anyone gets that joke,
well, what do you know? I was barbed today.
You're
But
barbed without
it was.
even knowing.
They need to change some things, some aspects of that new movie if I'm ever going to be interested in another Jurassic film.
Yeah.
This is something I didn't find out about until yesterday, but they actually came out with, in conjunction with this movie, a Pokemon Go style game for
Oh yeah.
Jurassic World, where you are capturing dinosaurs that you find around the world.
Oh,
I have tried it out. It's not my jam. It's very odd.
It is so weird, and you're trying to trying to use tranquilizer darts to knock out dinosaurs to get their DNA to then fuse them with other dinosaurs.
wow.
Yeah, it's
That
so
sounds
weird.
beautiful.
So It's so weird. I'm just like, everybody in the comments, like for the reviews for that app, were like, you should have just called it Jurassic World Go. Then you're being at least honest about stealing the game.
Yeah.
Oof. Well, I mean, literally, I took a look at that app and I was like, this is fucking Pokemon Go for dinosaurs. It's
Yeah.
I don't think they're trying to hide it because the formula is like really easy to spot. I just feel like they wanted to like ride the wave while that happened.
I mean, I feel like if they really wanted to ride the wave, they should have done it probably they should have made the app about a year ago.
That's true. But then again, like they wanted like the promo with their new movie.
Oh yeah, I that makes sense.
And I think like because the app was just like made a year ago, they probably needed like a year in development or something.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of apps that are stealing from
What? No, continue.
I was gonna talk about the fact that Westworld, there's a Westworld game that is being sued for having stolen some stuff from Fallout Shelter.
Oh yeah,
I saw that. Bethesda got really mad about that.
I have played the Westworld game, just because I was curious how much they stole from it. It is very similar gameplay. They added some changes that make sense for it being in Westworld, but it just overall, I was like, this is like the exact same formula that they had for Fallout Shelter, just with like a visual difference and a style change. And I'm just like, I don't really like. I totally see why Bethesda has an issue with it personally. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, and then I was just really into Westworld, because season 2 just finished, but that's why I had to go check that app out.
I still need to watch that because I am a slut for Sir Anthony Hopkins.
It is fantastic, and it is definitely a Nolan movie. So like Christopher Nolan, and I believe this was written by, I believe his name, it's Jonah Nolan, I believe, something like that. But it's his brother, and it's freaking fantastic. Season 2, in my opinion, was definitely better than season 1. Some people might disagree with me on that, but it was, I don't know, it was still pretty fantastic.
Like all I know about that is basically it's based off of a sci-fi book which I've read, and a lot of sex with robots.
I mean, and also just killing,
and
wildly.
killing, but also sex with robots. That is apparently the one thing that stands out for me: sex with robots.
That's yeah, okay. So let's segue this into an ad read, right?
I mean, if someone wants to sponsor us,
this
send us
this
message on
podcast
Twitter.
This podcast is sponsored by nothing. Because
Podcast is sponsored by
the LGBT.
It's sponsored by oatmeal.
Sure.
This podcast is sponsored by oatmeal. They don't pay us anything, and we don't really eat it, except maybe some of us. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, Zoe. Thanks for the segue into the ad read. What's your segue out of the ad read?
I have no idea.
Now we're gonna try our new Rooster Teeth cocktail.
Oh my god.
I have so many other things to do.
Remember when that was a thing?
At 10:30 in the morning.
Does anybody have anything else any topics they wanted to bring to the podcast?
There's something that happened to me yesterday that I've kind of just been stewing in.
Go for it.
I think I just had my first coming out to someone that wasn't like close friends or family.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did it go?
So I mean, I think it went well because recently I've joined this new community on Minecraft. Because one night I was just scrolling through Twitch and I was just like, hey, let's just look at Minecraft streamers and whatever. And I came across this guy and we started talking, and then I was incorporated into his group of friends, and yesterday we were just kind of playing, and then he was And then I was just like, oh, yeah, I have to leave earlier than usual because I have a thing tomorrow. And then he started asking me what it was about, and then I was kind of in that, gray area because I wasn't sure how people stood on the issue. Because, even as much as we would all love it, not everyone is accepting of LGBT. So, I mean, I told him about it, and he seemed to receive it well, and yeah, that was basically my first ever actual experience coming out to someone that I don't know that well.
Well, it sounds like it was a good experience because it sounded like since they took it well, that's a good way to start out. You never want your first time doing that to kind of come out bad because that just it gets you bummed out. But I'm glad that happened and that it went over well. That's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's way better than me coming out to random people online.
Oh yeah, no, I do
Trust
that
me.
all the time.
I feel like coming out online is usually, especially in places like a community you already know, is usually a good ending because you kind of already have an idea for how those people feel, or they've come out ahead of you, so they kind of just pave the way, and you're just like, oh yeah, me too. Hi, what's up?
Yeah.
I legitimately just yelled it on TF2 when someone said, go suck a dick, and I said, already there, bitch. So...
I mean, whatever works.
That's something.
That's one way to do it.
If that's
It
what works for
definitely
you,
is. It
own
definitely
it.
That reminds me of probably one of, I guess, the most positive experiences that I feel like any trans person can have, which is when you're first starting to at least pass as whatever you're trying to pass as. For me, it's passing as feminine. And when they never even second guess it and they correctly gender you, and that's like the first time that I was like that felt amazing. That was like it's such a great feeling. And if you're transgender, you totally hopefully get what I mean. But yeah, that just reminds me of that great feeling. It's a great experience to kind of akin to coming out, but it's just such a great feeling. Anybody else have any sort of topics? Because
I'm sorry, I just have to bring this up because I have Twitter notifications on for Lindsay Jones, and she quoted a tweet from, I guess, Daily Star, which is like the pseudo news outlet, where the headline was, women reveal the 2 words they love hearing during sex, and she quoted it with the moonball.
That's amazing.
I love Lindsay so much.
I do too.
I love that stuff too. Did you guys see? I believe it might have been a little while ago, but Emmy posted in chat with the moods of Achievement Hunter, and it was a really hilarious pic. And it was basically everybody as what you would imagine them. So Lindsay was this giant excited. Gavin's nose, I think, was just peeking into the frame. You could kind of see a tiny Jeremy behind the couch of theater mode.
Oh my.
And then you just see what I believe Jeff as ashamed, Michael as bored, and then Ryan as confused. And it was just like the best photo. And I'll see if I can find it, and then we can post it.
Yeah,
in,
please.
the description or something, but it's freaking fantastic.
I think I'm a constant.
That was good.
I think I'm a constant combination of Ryan, Michael, and Jeff.
That's fair. Yeah.
All right. Well, we are creeping up on that hour.
Yep. So, I guess is there anything else anybody wants to close with?
Are we gonna do a closing sponsor or?
If someone wants to sponsor us, you get lots of time.
This episode of the RT Pridecast is brought to you by, whatever you're probably listening to it on.
Brought to you by technology.
Yep.
Exactly.
And my website hosting.
Perhaps the greatest sponsorship ever. How did we land this shit?
I paid them, actually.
we just went there begging, please fucking sponsor us for this.
Hey, I'm not going to shout out your name, but here, have my $5.
Thank you all for being on this fifth. Is this the fourth or the fifth?
Fourth.
I believe
right?
this is the fourth.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to all of my guests for being on this fourth episode of the RT Podcast. And thank you all for watching, or not watching, but listening to us ramble.
If you have any suggestions for topics you want to hear us talk about, or if you want to be on an episode, reach out to us on Twitter or on our Discord. We have a Pridecast channel in the Discord, or just tweet at us or send us a message, and we'll be like, "Hey, yeah, come be on the show and talk about what you want to talk about."
Yeah. So thank you all so much, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.